And I'm here with Jack after Siegs has saved the day.
Yep, Siegs' technical support is it's very strong. It's a very strong strategy.
I mean, if we were gonna have to put any blame on this one, I'm not gonna name any names, but it would rhyme with Lon Jenin.
Yeah. It would, and we're hunting down the culprit now. We'll know when.
I definitely need some Elon Musk Skynet for sure. Let's do stuff and things. We have fixed my list. We are ready. Get me scooching all around. I don't have Jack perfectly centered, and I have his name at the top. You know what? I'm just going to deal with the fact that your name's at the top. Let's just...
Is that me, or is that... What does it say there?
I think it may be the end of me.
I think that says Richard Siegler or something, because I'm on his account.
Don't worry about these things.
This is live. Screw it, we're doing it live.
That's how we do things. We go live and we figure we damn the torpedoes full speed ahead.
Heck yeah, buddy.
I fixed it.
Right. So we've got a Black Legion list, first CSM list, I believe.
First CSM list. Let's first talk about what I like in this list. We'll talk about the whole list, but I want to start with the Don because Abaddon belongs in everything. He's good. I'm actually starting to put him in all my regular Marine lists because I just think he's good.
Your Space Marine list?
Yeah, screw it. My Salamanders, my Scars, it doesn't matter. Abaddon goes in first. I just put a hat and a fake mustache on him, and he's there.
Schmabaddon the Schmaboiler.
Exactly. Very loyalist Marine. Very, very loyal. I think that he already turned to Chaos when he was still a Son of Horus. But he was kind of a dick back then. He's still a dick right now. So let's talk about what's in this.
Black Legion makes the best use of Abaddon, and Abaddon is a pimp.
Well, he does give Core full rerolls to hit and to wound. He can do Ultra. He can basically do Morven Vol buffs for a Black Legion, and he's kind of a big dog. The only problem with the Chaos is that they have a lot of things that aren't Core, which makes me sad. They have a Core problem. But we're going to talk about this list. We got a Demon Press, Slanesh, Intoxicating Elixir is amazing. Wings, Sword, Prescience. Master Possession, Liber Hereticus. Warp Marked, Pact of Flesh, Cursed Earth is his power. 5 Legionnaires with Balefire Tome and Warp Time. Pretty sure that you're not allowed to do that. Yep. 8 Accursed Cultists, 75 million points. 10 Cultists.
In the actual submitted list, it was 13 of the little boys and 3 of the big mutants. And you can't do that.
I was going to say, that's also not illegal.
You can't go over 10, and also the points were off. So, like, I just adjusted it down to the base level, and you have 35 points to play around with.
We got 10 Possessed with the Black Rune of Damnation. That's a pretty boss move, actually. 5 Possessed. Master of Execution. This dude's a boss. Flames of Spite. Cloak of Conquest. He's basically giving everybody OPSEC around him. It's Rights of War. 9 Bikers. Mark of Nurgle with the Icon. 5 Warp Talons. Venom Crawler. 5 Havocs with 4 autocannons. And again, the Don. Yeah.
My biggest problem with this list is it has no units.
I actually agree with our friend, the Tech Priest. No priest makes me sad. Yes, I'd like to see an Apostle in here for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the Legionnaires have to take a different power. They can take Gaze. Actually, Jack told me this earlier when I said I thought it was legal.
It's Gaze of Hate, it's Prescience, and I don't remember the third one. I really thought I could just rattle them off the top of my head. It's 2 bad ones and Prescience. Really is what it is.
Ooh, Logan, you don't want Abaddon to duel with Bobby G because Abaddon will put him in the pocket pretty badly. So
yeah, Abaddon could duel Bobby G 3 times and win every single time.
Yeah, you're gonna end up dueling like, all right, here's Abaddon eating ramen while dueling Bobby G.
Bobby G could stand up twice.
Yeah, it's not great. So we need some more stuff in here. Possessed aren't core, which kind of sucks, but they are pretty awesome because they move 9, they hit very hard. But I definitely want an Apostle in here. I'd like to. We have a weird mix of troops with the Legionnaire, the Accursed Cultists, and the Cultists. I'd like to just have. I mean, their troops are a little bit of a tax on this, so I think that I'd like bare bones. Uh,
I I don't hate accursed cultists, and I'll tell you why. Um, they stick out. You can stick out on objectives from behind walls, right? And then if your opponent shoots you, it is actually hard to kill all of them in one shooting attack.
they are also immune to morale, so
They are immune to morale, and they regen models in the command phase. So you shoot them, you pull the models that your opponent can see, usually just one, and one shooting attack doesn't kill them just because they have like 14 wounds. Like if you hit them with like a something real, like a full Caladius round of shooting, sure, they're gone. But like even a chain cannon off of like a one of
Big
the
Knight.
one of the baby chaos knights, even a chain cannon doesn't do it because they have a 6 feel no pain. You got to hit and you got to wound, and they just have like 13 wounds. So they are immune to morale. You pull back behind the wall, and then in your command phase, boop, 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 you're back on the objective for free, and you get your points. And I think that's quite strong for a 25-point upgrade over cultists. They also hit decently in combat, which
yeah, I don't mind them. I mean, you have to have a legionnaire for each one, or just a core unit for each one that you're taking. Otherwise, I would just take them. You know what I mean?
yes, I would not take legionaries if I didn't have to.
Yeah, I definitely don't want this buff on them because it doesn't do anything. So I take them bare bones, and I probably do we have any other core that we have that could just get us another core cultist unit?
Havocs.
Havocs, yes. So we could do that. Double curse cultist and one legionnaire.
Each cultist or cursed cultist has to have a core, not just a cursed.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like that. I just like to switch to 2 accursed cultists, not just the one cultist. We have points anyways after we put some stuff down there. But I do want the apostle in here. I just don't want more units, to be perfectly honest. And the bikers have a real damage problem right now with just being Mark and Nurgle. So I'd really like to see them with Tzeentch to give us a little bit more AP. Chaos has a little bit of an issue with AP on some of their stuff. A lot of AP1 out there.
Yeah, I'd really like to see them as Tzeentch with the icon. They also ignore the first failed save, which is probably equivalent to the Mark of Nurgle buff, and then the icon gives them an additional point of AP, which is really quite nice. I get what you're going for. You're going for the 6s to hit auto wound at range, and then Abaddon gives them real hits and wounds. But I would much rather have the additional point of AP.
Yeah, I mean, you're having problems with that already because we just have very little of that in the army. What do you think about the autocannon havocs? Can we just get chain cannons? They'd be more expensive, but I get a lot more shots. I guess you can't shoot downfield with them, though. It's only 24 inches.
With Abadu, they definitely hit pretty hard. Rerolling hits and wounds on chain cannons, they hit pretty hard.
Right. That's what I want to maximize my Dawn powers at this point in time.
I really wish you could give them Mark of Tzeentch and an icon. You can give them Mark of Tzeentch, you can't give them an icon.
Yeah, the icon's the big deal on this. I really want an apostle, though. I still want an apostle on this list, and I still want just more stuff. We've got a couple just big units that I feel he's trying to maximize some Abaddon buffs, but we don't have enough things to take things.
We really have 2 units. We have the 10-man Possessed, and we have the 9-man Bikers. Past that, we have 2 skirmishing units, the Possessed and the Warp Talons, a Venom Crawler, and that's kind of it that exists in midboard. Then it's characters in Abaddon, which is Abaddon's fine. You can down up front, but like you just don't have models. You're a very small army, and that's going to hurt, especially if like, oops, I lost a unit. It's like, oh, I guess I lose because I lose half my board control.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Black Rooted Domination of Possessed, but I don't know if I'm just trying to figure out what we can break up here because like we've got a couple 300-point units that don't have impressive output and they don't have excellent defense, and we just don't have enough stuff.
Yeah, I don't think this list can afford to have a 3rd HQ or a 4th, I guess, with Abaddon. Even though the priest is super, super dope, I don't think you can afford to have it because you have a unit problem. And
yeah, but like, what do we want all of these HQs? To be honest.
Well, so the Demon Prince and the Master Possession. Master Possession casts powers, and the Demon Prince does Warp Ritual in my mind. That's why I have I think a Demon Prince on my list, either that or Double Master Possession. I forget. I wrote my chaos list for today at 1 a.m. last night, and
Seems excellent time.
at a certain point I just said ship it because, but I don't think you can solve this a unit problem by adding characters. I don't really want to add a character.
I'd like to swap a character, I guess, more than anything. The Apostle just, and he has just, his buffs are not just crazy. I mean, he's such good value.
Yeah. I mean, what you could do is you could mark the Master of Possession as Zinch and spend a CP to make him do an action, psychic action, and cast the power. But I think you need 2 Psychers in here because Warp Ritual feels essential.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you that one. We just have such a unit problem right now is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, we do. So I think what has to happen is you have to break up the bikers. I'd love to see another Venom. Honestly, Venom Crawlers are just amazing. You take like 2 or 3 of those, and that's kind of your fire support right there. So I like that. You could break up the bikers, take another Venom Crawler, and then you have like a high 100, like 180 or so points, 185.
Venom Crawlers do bang. Those guys have a lot of attacks for the points.
The Warp Talons, you're saying?
The Venom Crawler. Venom Crawler, yes.
Venom Crawlers? Yeah, I love Venom Crawlers.
Warp Talons would be my favorite unit in the book if they just had core.
Yeah, I mean, I personally love Warp Talons in Word Bearers. In Black Legion, they get +1 to hit when they charge.
Right. That hitting on 2s is still bad. I still think they're worth it. I actually would like, if I was going to go with fast stuff, I think that Warp Talons are actually one of the best things in the fast attack slot for this army because they haul butt. They've got special rules to try to hold people. They hit pretty hard. They have a huge amount of attacks. I mean, just 5 attacks is just nuts. So, and they do have Lightning Claws. They're going to be hitting on 2s with full rerolls to wound because Lightning Claws.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like Warp Talons quite a lot. I have, I think, 10 of them in my game I'm playing against Siegs today because they're really good. I would probably just break up the bikers into a Venom Crawler, right? So then we have like 195 points left, considering that the cultists got turned into accursed cultists, and we had 35 points floating already. So we have 195 points, and we can then take like another squad of Possessed. That could work. And at that point, upgrade the Havocs to chain cannons, and I don't know at that point, because I really would like another unit of like 5 Possessed or something, if I'm being honest with you.
I'd rather just have some more smaller units to go do stuff.
Yeah. I think the 10-man Possessed with the Black Rune is good, but I'd really like to...
I mean, at this point, do I want the Master of Executions as opposed to the Apostle?
Well, it's not a clean swap, and also this list, especially if you lose the bikers, does not have any core for the Dark Apostle to buff.
Yeah. Why are they so core locked? This upsets me.
I honestly think if Possessed and a lot of this other nonsense had core, the book would be too strong. As it is, it feels a little rudderless, but that's okay. It's still very, very powerful.
It's powerful, but it's very hard to buff the things that you want to buff. Also, the coolest new models all do not have core, except for Chosen.
True.
Chosen are awkward.
Speaking of Chosen, we could include some Chosen.
We do have the Dawn. We do have people to buff those core units that we have none of. You know what I mean? So that's a big deal on that. So I wouldn't hate the Chosen in here either.
I do like a big unit of Chosen or a big unit of Terminators instead of the Possessed. And then you have a Dawn target for reroll hits and wounds. And then if you take the Dark Apostle, I don't hate it, because then you have somebody to buff.
Yeah, this list needs Terminators. My problem with Chaos Terminators right now is they don't have good options for what they can do. Their weapon options are pretty lame. And in 9th edition 40k, you need output. Output's more important than your durability. It's just, you need to kill stuff.
They do have 4 attacks with a power sword. Not ideal.
I also don't like the... exactly. Corey said the same thing I was about to say. You're stealing my thunder. I don't like the fact that we've got a lot of CP tied into the Master of Executions.
I think Master of Executions just clean stock 65 with no upgrades is fine. Cloak of Conquest does want a home. If that's not infantry locked, I would totally. Oh, that's a relic and intoxicating elixirs on the Demon Prince, which is pretty good.
Intoxicating elixirs boss mode. I mean, that dude is badass.
Yeah. I think you just take Local Conquest. I don't think you need Flames of Spite. Flames of Spite is reroll wounds, I believe. If you're going to take a Warlord trait, I would much rather take reroll hits, and then you just fish for the 6s to do the 2 mortal wounds every time you attack.
I just need more stuff here.
Yeah, I would much rather take Hatred Incarnate on your Master of Executions. That gives him +1 strength and attacks and reroll hits. I'd much rather take that.
If you're looking for him to bang?
Yeah. Over Flames of Spite, for sure.
I think we had a chosen squad in here. We do a double Venom Crawler. Man, I'd tell you the truth, I'd rather see double Warp Talons than double Venom Crawler, though.
I think it fills in that range damage that we really like a little of. And also, I think Venom Crawler gets us the ability to do more with those points.
They are cheap. I mean, the 105 points, that's a very cost-efficient unit. So I have to give you that. So we just need more stuff. I mean, it's going to be just tough to play the game with this. That's the problem with a lot of chaos lists when you run into is you find yourself trying to do some damage, but then you go, well, how am I actually taking objectives and scoring and everything else? That's the problem I see with this list is we have so few things.
Yeah, it's hard to say with chaos because there is that push and pull. That's why we're having a little bit of trouble here. There's the push and pull between having good characters, good objective scoring, good secondary scoring, good primary, good ground, like good units to take objectives, good characters to buff those units, ranged fire support, and trying to fit enough models on the board. It's really, really hard to solve all those problems all at once. Tech Priest Dicky says at that point take a Lord Disco instead of the Demon Prince. The reason I like the Demon Prince in this list is so that you can score Warp Ritual. Otherwise, Warp Ritual is really not a thing you can do, and then your secondary game is pretty not great. I really think you need the Demon Prince to sit there, score Warp Ritual for a couple turns, and then be a guy bonking around later in the game with Intoxicating Elixir, just bopping.
All right, we're gonna revisit. We're gonna talk about this one more. So we basically said that we want to add a couple of chosen. We're gonna take the bikers out. We're gonna add a Venom Crawler. We're gonna make both cultists into curse cultists. Make the Legionnaires actually legal. Take the flames off of the executions.
Yeah, probably add more possessed just to try and add another 5-man possessed, add something like that. Maybe some chosen, large chosen squads are decent, but there's no buffs for them, so we need to add that in too, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I'm moving on for now. I'm gonna come back. We don't have a full answer for that, so I have to bail. I want to go to this just because there's a list that has Lucas the Trickster in it, and that made me unbelievably happy.
Please tell me you know what he does, because I don't.
Don't worry about it. He's the Trickster. He's going to put you in stasis.
I know he has a stasis bomb instead of his second heart, which is dope.
I do like how battalion spelled battalion.
Oh, did I mess that up? Damn. I mean, you messed it up. It's your graphic.
Exactly. Chaplain. Master Sanctity. Jump Pack. Power Fist, the Armor of Russ. Najal Stormcaller. Murderous Hurricane. Instincts Awoken Stormcaller. Ragnar Blackbane. This is so many characters. I love name characters. I love everything that's happening here. Warrior Born.
100 points. I actually like a lot of these guys.
5 Assault Intercessors, 5 Assault Intercessors, 5 Incursors. Lucas the Trickster, 9 Woofin with 8 Thunderhammer Storm Shield. Woofin Dreadnought. Great Axe Blizz Shield for that 4-up invuln. 3 units of Sky Claws, 5, 5, 10. 2 units of 3 Eliminators. A 6-man Long Fang with all of the missile launchers. And a Terminator with a Combine Mount on the Cyclone Missile Launcher with Storm Shield. So you have basically 6 missile launcher shots a turn.
Yep.
Let's talk about what we can do.
Modifiers for 1 CP. It's pretty decent. I am pulling up Space Wolf rules so I can confidently talk about their characters. Because otherwise, I'm going to sit here being like, yes, Njal Stormcaller.
Yeah. No, first off, we need to split these Woofing up. We need 2 squads. They fight on death. They can trade really, really well. I don't want them as one block at all. We need to send them out, stand an objective, kill some stuff, sit up behind a wall, fight on death. It's amazing. The other thing is we're really going double down on these Sky Claws with Maltas. I would still rather have a Wolfguard unit in here. And so I can smash some double lightning claws. Wolfguard are still just amazing. They're going to do just more overall damage than some Sky Claws with the melta guns. I do like Sky Claws with like 2 units of 5 Sky Claws is fine, but let's make that other Sky Claw unit. Let's get it down to a Wolfguard unit to really do some damage.
Yeah, I would. That's what I would say. I think Skyclaw's got a lot cheaper, but they're filling your fast attack slot, and I mean, nothing else is really filling your fast attack slot except for like
Cyber Wolves. We need a cyber. There's no chance in the universe that I'm playing a Space Wolves army without a Cyber Wolf, bro. Come on.
That's true. So you can drop. I think you want to keep like the 2 5-mans. I don't hate 3 Melta Guns and a Power Fist because they're 5 points apiece.
My wolf howl, by the way, got my wife to run out and see what the hell is happening right now.
Well, I mean, with you can never be sure, so she needs to make sure you're okay. The 10 Sky Claws that have the same amount of
10 Sky Claws are out. They're going to become a Wolfguard unit, and we're putting in a Cyber Wolf, 100%.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Extend the range, give some real combat that can run in and kill stuff instead of the Sky Claws. I don't think that 9 Wolfen should be 9. I think it should be.
No, it's gonna be. It's 2 5s. That's what I started with. You have to break up the Wolfen into 2 squads.
Yeah, I would 100% agree.
As much as I love all of these named characters because it's flavorful as hell, I would like some other guys. I want the Chaplain on a bike, by the way. He's just so good. You can also give him Hunter. Then he's basically got a 21-inch move and then charge. It's a big deal on that. So if I was going to give him anything, I really, really like that. Armor Rust is still amazing on him. If you put him on the bike, he's got a huge base. So it's nice to sneak in, fights last on people.
Yeah, this is not a Primaris Chaplain. This is a regular Chaplain.
Yeah, I want a Primaris Chaplain on bike.
Primaris Chaplain is 10 more points on bike. And in my opinion, quite a bit better. So I would definitely go with that.
Yeah. So we definitely need, for one, you basically get sanctioned by the Fang if you don't put a Cyber Wolf in your army, so it has to go in there. So we're getting a Cyber Wolf. We're making that 10 Sky Claws Wolfguard unit, possibly 2 5s, to be honest. We got to find some points at that point in time. I do love the fact that we make them Chaplain, a Primaris Chaplain on bike, for sure. The Eliminator, the Long Fangs units actually do some bang. I'm not in love with the Eliminator units. They're cute, but in a Space Wolves army, I want to bang. I want to put the beats on people. I feel that I'm trying to be too cheeky with that because I'd like to have 2 5 Wolf Guards, Jump Pack Lightning Claws, and a Thunderhammer in there somewhere, probably on the Sergeant, maybe 2, and then I would really like to have. I don't know if I care about the Thunderhammer on these Assault Intercessors.
That's reasonably going to get anywhere.
Yeah, those guys are on your backfield taking your objective. I don't want people back there anyways. So I think that we free up a couple points there. We get 2 5-man Wolfguard with Lightning Claws and 1 Thunderhammer. We have turned the Sky Claws into that. So
yeah, I would really like more Wolfen units, more Wolf Guard, and if we're running Space Wolf pure, right? I do actually like a lot of the characters. That's kind of the draw to running actual Space Wolf.
That's why I'm not changing those, because of the fact that I feel like this list, the flavor of this list, is him trying to bring pure Space Wolves with all the special characters, and that's fine. Let's not touch that. I mean,
no. Nick did that on stream a couple of times, and a lot of their characters are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
As memey as it is, the Santa on his sleigh, I forget, Logan Grimnar on Stormwolf, is actually a good unit for the points cost. He's just hard to deal with. He hits incredibly hard. Especially, he's hard to deal with Armor of Contempt, because he's a 2-up armor save on his sleigh. You can also take Herald Deathwolf. I think both of those are better than Ragnar Blackmane, who walks around.
Harold, it was, yeah, Harold. I really like Harold. I also like Canis. Canis for the points is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, let me pull him up. One, I've just been looking through the characters because I know a lot of them went
Canis
down.
is a boss.
Yeah, he moved quick.
And he hits hard.
Yeah, I like Canis. I like Canis Wolfborn too by quite a lot.
And the rest of the force is going to be super fast because we drop the Sky Claws and we get the. Tell you the truth, even though I love him, the Wolf and Dreadnought should probably just be more Wolfguard and just get there fast. So we drop 10 Sky Claws, we add 10 Wolfguard 5/5. We take these Wolfen and make them 2 5s, buffed up with Thunderhammers.
You need some points to make that work. That could just be the Thunderhammers coming off the Assault Intercessors, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need that many points, though. You know what I'm saying? And we also have a Dreadnought that may or may not make the cut. So,
unfortunately, we need about 50 points to turn the Skyclaws into 2 squads of 5 Wolfguard, and we need an extra Wolfen. So I think it's going to end up being around 70-something points.
We also have a Cyberwolf. We need 15 for that boy.
So we need about 95 to 100 points we need to make.
Cool. We either some eliminators get thrown in the dumpster or we take the Wolf and Dreadnought out.
Yeah, I think either one of those is fine. I think some eliminators going in the dumpster. The eliminators, one unit of eliminators, 1 Wolfen Dread going in the dumpster to get 5 more Wolfen.
I would love that. That sounds way more. I like to lean into what's the strong point of this list. I just eliminators are fine for me. Plus, I got touched bad by eliminators in the finals of LBL, so they still hurt me, my soul, just a little bit. Oh, but no, I still think the eliminators are a little too cute for Space Wolves. I'm not gonna. You're gonna trying to do cheeky stuff. You're a Space Wolf. You're literally playing the beatiest punch. You're playing a biker gang. Go hit people in the face.
Yeah, I would lean into characters. I think Ragnar is a little slow for your army. What I would probably do is replace him with Canis or Herald Deathwolf. You won't. I can leave Lucas the Trickster in. He's just a cute little character who bops. But then I would go Wolf and Wolfguard, and just try and get there in combat, because you have a lot of combat manipulation with 6-inch heroics on, all the characters, 3-inch heroics. I think it's 6-inch heroics on everybody for 1 CP. It's free on characters, and everyone heroics 3 inches normally. So it makes combat really annoying to get into.
Also, there's a lot of jump people here because we're going to put in Wolfguard. We've already got the double Skyclaw, so even flying shenanigans, you can just heroic all over the board, which is fantastic feeling.
The Long Fangs, I would probably prefer them as grab cannons instead of missile launchers.
I think he's looking for the volume of shot with them. God damn it. I am really messing things up over here. Nothing to see here, gang.
What did you do?
Nothing. I may have crashed all my screens for just a second. But there's a ton of flavor to this, guys. It'd be everybody's. Like, if I was going for pure, like, I had to make the best list that I was going to win a tournament with, I would go successors. But this list is flavorful as hell with all of these. Again, we started the list off with Lucas the Trickster, and that made me happy.
Yeah, I do think these characters are worth it. They're the reason to go pure Space Wolves, for sure. If you just compare pure Space Wolves to successor chapters, they're not as good. So what you get is you get all these characters that are actually quite nice. Canis Wolfborn hits like a truck and is only 110, very fast, advanced in charge. Like, honestly, you can take him and Harold and just have a couple of,
Those guys bang, like bad. So here's the things that I want to do so far. We need a Primaris Chaplain on a bike. He can have literally the same loadout if you want. I'm not a huge fan of the Power Fist, so I would kill that. But a Chaplain on a bike, Primaris Chaplain on a bike. I want the 10-man Skyclaw. We're going to figure out, and probably the Wolfen gone. We're going to make the 2 Wolfen units 2 5s, and we're going to put in 2 5s of Wolf Guard with Lightning Claws and a Thunderhammer on them.
Yeah, I think 12 tiny corgis, is going to be a bit disappointed with how the 10-man Skyclaws feel. I think when you get into combat with them, you're going to be like, oh, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, the Wolf Guard just do so much damage. It's just, those guys are bosses, you know what I mean? So it's a big deal on that.
All right, so, 12 tiny corgis actually had some notes about the list.
Hit me.
So, heroic challenge with Lucas or glory kills if it's free. Retrieve Knockman data and Warrior's Pride /engage /shock tactics. I personally like shock tactics a lot.
Warrior Pride is awesome too, though.
Deep Strike 15 claws, Niall and the Chaplain. 2 CP to Cunning of the Wolf, Lucas, and the Wolfen.
I don't like Deep
First
striking
turns
like
is just using Assault Intercessors and shooting to disrupt their points and get first 2 Retrieve Knockman. Turn 3, everything comes down. You 1 CP for the Canticle to go off. 55% chance to make that a 7-inch with Wolfen rerolls on all of them. And because all of these units have the Blood Claw keyword, the Wolfen can come in somewhere further away for a potential second wave.
Yes.
It would be while still giving rerolls from 12 inches. I took Nick's advice, busted out the codex, and went through all the named characters and found some good memes. So here is the problem with having an all deep strike assault.
Here, I'm literally going to scream you out. You're going to kill my chaff, and then I'm going to kill you the next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just in bad places, and you're making YOLO charges on 5 Rangers and some random, the AdMech guys. Whatever your opponent's just trash is, they're just going to push you out, especially since you're coming down later. I'm going to take the middle of the board, and I'm going to make you deep strike into your own deployment zone at that point in time. So you've got all of the anger and fury. Push up with the anger and fury, and then pummel people. If you want a couple things to deep strike, put them in after.
Here's something for anyone who's trying to make it, because we have a bunch of people in the chat right now. Here's something for anybody who's trying to make a reserve heavy list. You can't put all of your threats in deep strike, because if you do that, if you put all your threats in deep strike, what your opponent is going to do is you're never going to, at mid-level tables, sure, you probably will, but then as soon as 12 tiny corgis is in chat, dope. As soon as your opponents are a little more experienced, what they're going to start doing is they're going to start pushing out like 10-man cultist units or a single cyberwolf or whatever else they want. They're going to push out with that, and you're going to drop down your 1,200 points of your army, and you're going to hit 1 cyberwolf. You're going to hit 10 cultists. You're going to hit a guardsman squad. You're going to hit like an empty rhino, stuff like that. And then your opponent is going to hit clean back at you, and it's going to be unfortunate. So what you want to do is if you want to have a deep strike threat, you have 1 unit in reserves that can threaten your opponent, change how they're playing the game, while the rest of your army is on the board. It's really more of a synergy.
Yeah. Where you have to clear space for that drop. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Where you want to give your opponent like, all right, if you play really defensive, I'm going to drop down and I'm going to hit you. And if you play screen out, you're going to give me free shooting, free charges. So
I love that 12 tiny corgis already changed most of the things that we were talking about. Yeah, it made the Skyclaws 5-man, added 2 Wolfguard units with Hammer, which we just talked about, and also split those woofing up. Yes, and more yes. I love it already. Yes, those are the things that we wanted to do, period. I'm not a huge fan. Some people like the eliminators on this. I just like the punching. I mean, I love all the named characters in here. This list has mad flavor in it, but I really feel you need to work my boy Canis in there. Just because I like his fluff, for one. He's kind of a crazy guy that rides a wolf, and that makes me happy. But it would also add speed, and he hits hard for his points.
He does. 110 points for Canis is a steal.
Yeah.
Really would like the Chaplain to be a Primaris on bike.
Primaris on a bike, for sure. I mean, you can't go wrong with 7 wounds in T5. It's big.
He's so much more durable. He's so much more of a threat. The Chaplain on Jump Pack is very easy to just clip. Like, your opponent can just kill him fairly easily, and that's not what So I just like the guy on bike. He's much harder. You can be on the front lines. He can be buffing all your combat without immediately dying. And he goes very, very far with
Hunter. Yes. It's so good. 21 inches, then a charge. It's nuts. And then he gives off that advance and charge aura after he completes it.
Yep, and he can charge it +2, so he can just boogie.
Yeah, he doesn't play around.
No, certainly not.
So,
So that's the direction I would want to take the list.
also, but another prop to Kane is his model is cool too.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's something else that 12 Tiny Corgis has experienced.
Exactly. By Chappie, no, that's why. You should be totally like, oh no, I need more wounds. Primary Chaplain, I'm like, boom.
Boom, that guy is a brick. Also, Wolfen's job really is to go and kill something, and then when your opponent commits to kill it, they fight on death and they trade up. A 9-man unit doesn't really fill that role because
he's already got 2 5s on that. That's the whole point. Is you want to be economical with Wolfen, that you want to make people be hurt. It's the best way to use Wolfen. You charge in, you get it on objective, you kill something. Hopefully you're on your side of a wall when you did it. Then somebody has to come in and punch you, and then you fight on death, and you get a 2-for-1 trade. It's super nice.
Yeah. So that's generally the direction I would take with this. The Eliminators, I don't think their shooting is that respectable. The long things, you can totally keep that in. I just want more fast combat threats and smaller units so that you don't have to overcommit to small problems, right? You have to throw 9 Wolfen at, a 100-point unit. That feels so bad. But you throw 5 Wolfen, it's a little more defensible. So I would really just want to see 5, 5, 5 Wolfen, like 5, 5 Wolfguard, Lucas, 5 Skyclaws, 5 Skyclaws, the 6 Long Fangs.
Cyber Wolf
in there.
You will be censored by the Fang if you do not have a Cyber Wolf in your army.
Want to be censored by the Fang. So that's the direction I would take it. You still end up with 3 named characters, and I think that they perform their role well, respectably well, and I think you can do well with it.
I think that says tons of flavor. We just had to split some stuff up, and it feels good.
Yep.
Boom.
All right. Let's look at the last one.
All right.
This is kind of topical with the War Room game yesterday. If you're in the War Room, you can just take a look at it on our website, The Art of War 40K. If you are not, you can sign up for the War Room, and you get access to all of our videos. And this was a game that we put on yesterday between Nick's Bealtan Eldar and my Blood Angels. And Nick had a poor time during that game. So this list, he said, this was Ronnie. Ronnie says he updated his list based on today's coaching game and would love your 2 cents, Brad.
Okay. I will. You know what? I'm not going to just give my 2 cents. I'm going to give 10 cents. I got 10 cents worth of stuff. Let's go over the list first. We got Baharoth. We got a Farseer walking around with a Spirit Stone. We've got a Farseer Skyrunner with the full Chapter Master rerolls on him. 2 Warlocks walking around with Quick and Restrain. A Warlock Skyrunner with Protect Jinx. 2 units of 10 Guardian Defenders. A unit of Rangers. 1 unit of Howling Banshees with Crone Scream and Piercing Strikes. 5 Striking Scorpions with the Biting Blade, Crushing Blow. That's basically 7 attacks with Exploding 6s. They auto wound.
Yeah, that thing hits.
Yeah, 7 Fire Dragons with Blazing Fury and the Fire Pike. 3 Shining Spears with the Saber and Heart Strike. It's an Exarch with 2 guys with ablative wounds next to him because he hits hard. And
he's inconsistent.
I mean, he has full rerolls. So, I mean, that's a big deal.
I know, but I've played with him, and he is very inconsistent. Sometimes he does like 4 mortal wounds and gives your opponent a bunch of saves.
I mean, he's mortal wounds in addition to his everything else.
I understand, but sometimes you just don't roll 5s. I played him to Adepticon, played this unit to Adepticon, and it was super inconsistent. Sometimes it did what I needed it to, and sometimes
for the points I like it just because of the fact the other 2 dudes still have their laser lances, and you still do have shuriken catapults. You know what I mean?
I don't hate having it because I would rather have expert lancers, but because you already have expert lancers, you can't have it twice.
See, I don't want the other Shining Spear unit at all, to be honest. And then we got 10 Swooping Conch. Sorry, we got another Shining Spear unit with expert lancers, and then we have. Oh my god, we have me continually crushing the world, and then we have the 10 swooping hawks rocking around doing swooping hockey stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about things.
Okay, let's talk about.
First off, first and foremost, I don't. Fire dragons have never served me very well for their points. They're kind of a drop in, hope for the best, and get smashed. You can get so much more from this in a huge amount of ways. I would just rather have, tell you the truth, more Dire Avengers. That seems weird because it's Melta versus more shots, but they're just more effective overall. And you can almost get a 2-for-1 trade for literally 20 Dire Avengers for 7 Fire Dragons.
It's like 18 Dire Avengers, but still, point seen. The thing about Fire Dragons is they're there to like pop out of terrain, shoot, and then pop back behind terrain. And
it's
without the auto 6,
without the auto 6, it's huge, man. You've got once a game Fire and Fade, and you've got no auto 6 anymore. They killed it. So I can't bounce back and forth. That's why I'm not a huge fan of them, because I can't guarantee that anymore. So I would smash them. I definitely want some Dire Avengers. Dire Avengers are still the most efficient in the game, in the Eldar Codex in the game, for what you can do for output. Also, your Biel-Tan here, so you can pop full rerolls from either Guide or the Warlord trade. And then if you really want to get crazy on it, you can do the Biel-Tan Strat and Bladestorm and get double exploding 6s on them. So it's very, very nice to be able to bang with this.
We got Rock in chat here. He's saying he has 30 Dire Avengers in this list, which
well, that would be nice.
I'm gonna double check. Maybe he means that he changed it and he has 30 in, or maybe I'm blind and I didn't see him. Maybe I just hate Dire Avengers
so much.
Let me see. Fix my list. Let's go back to find Ronnie's list. Boop, 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 boop. Oh yeah, he totally just has 30 Dire Avengers.
just totally just bailed on 30 Dire Avengers.
Yeah, I just totally let that out. All right.
Bold move, Cotton. Bold move.
Hate him. Get him out of here. Yeah, okay. 30 Dire Avengers does make this list just a little better.
Just slightly. I mean, it's only 400 points of his army. No big deal.
Yeah. Excuse me for 1 second.
Oh, I love everything about this. You know, I could fix this and put these in, but
I'm just gonna disappear for a second.
What? It's no big deal. Come on, Jack. No one's worried about the fact that you just failed to put in 30 Dire Avengers.
Thanks.
And I could edit this, but I don't think I'm going to.
Just write like 30 Dire Avengers. Just don't do the format. Just write it. Just like a bunch of Dire Avenger boys.
No, I'm just leaving it like this.
Okay.
So. Okay, 30 Dire Avengers seems good. That's where I was going with this. It's so good. I haven't found that I like the second Shining Spear unit. One of the reasons is their base is so big that they displace like just a ton of space. So it's difficult for me to hide them. And I really like the full rerolls in the Paragon Saber guy. Expert Lancers is nice, but I'd like to have more. There's so much stuff in the fast attack slot that is fantastic also for Eldar. So it's hard for me to just say, hey, I just want 3 Shining Spears that have huge bases. So I wouldn't mind seeing anything from cannon bikes to a unit of spiders. I think spiders are fantastic now. Always have been. In here, just more damage.
Yeah,
Exactly. Now
they need to bring 30 Dire Avengers printing in clear resin. I'm just like, where did they go? I can't see them. It's like, John Cena, just like. But I've been very disappointed with the Heartstrike Paragon Saber boy. Just very disappointed with him. And
I mean, it's the thing is that unit itself does good damage though. I mean, you're not looking to go crazy rock solid, but he's gonna do damage. He has full rerolls to hit and to wound, and the mortals are in addition to whatever he does. Plus, he's got his boys doing damage on that. That's the thing is that's why I said I don't know. I don't want the second unit of Shining Spears because they're the same way as the other, but just less consistent. So I would rather have something else in that fast spot for sure. The 10 Swooping Hawk unit, it is what it is. I've never been a huge... There's no To the Last anymore, so I kind of want more effective damage on that.
I really still like Swooping Hawks. I know that you never liked 10 Swooping Hawks, which is really incredible to me. I would love to move around some of these Exarch relics, though. Crone Scream and Kane's Lance. If you have Fire Dragons, which you can't turn them into 20 Dire Avengers if he's already got 30 Dire Avengers. So, there's...
I could turn them into 50 Dire Avengers. That list would be so good. I mean, illegal, but so good.
Honestly, I would like to just beef up the Shining Spear units so that when they hit, they hit.
They're too big. The bases are too big to be bigger.
That's true.
It's just too... It's the same thing when you were trying to run old Harlequin bikes and stuff like that. They're too big on that. So 3 you can kind of hide. After that, it gets really difficult. At that point in time, we look at the other fast attack options. You know what I mean? So, also, I'm not going to lie. I still like... I'm not a huge fan of just spending the points on the relics, period. I would just take Crone Scream and the other off because I want my CP.
I would take the Feel No Pain on the Swooping Hawks, and I would take... the -2 to charge on the Fire Dragons. That's what I would do.
The problem is that the -2 to charge isn't going to do anything to help the Fire Dragons. The Fire Dragons have to be too close, where the -2 is not going to make any difference whatsoever.
18 inches. Or 16, because they have the extended range. 16 inches. -2 to charge is a big rule.
I mean, the people are coming at you with 12-inch. You know what I mean? There's so many units that are moving 9 to 12. They're going to be like, hey, man, remember when you shot me with fire pikes? Well, I'm real mad about that. Now I'm 2 inches away from you.
16, you move 3. Even if they move 12 at that point, then what, they still need like a 9 or an 11 or something? Because -2. -2 to charge, man. Come on.
It's still CP that I don't need to spend.
Well, I think you need the Feel No Pain on the Swooping Hawks. So that relic is money. Don't at me.
Fine. The Swooping Hawks can have Feel No Pain, and we'll just put the Fire Dragons, have them to have that. So,
and at that point, right, you're taking a battalion, you're taking 1 relic, 1 warlord trait, and then the Exarch relic. You start with 3. I mean, you gain a CP every turn. You don't need more than 3, or you don't need 4. What are we doing?
You're like, we don't need any of this.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. You're not going to spend all those CP. You can't. You can't fire and fade more than once. Like, if you could fire and fade as many times as you want, it's like, sure, all right, then the CP goes to use. But you use that one too.
Don't hurt me where it... Don't hurt me. It's too soon. It's a little too soon, Jack.
Like, what are you doing? You're not redeploying and then using...
I'm using Blade Storm and the Bealtan Exploding Sixes strat every single turn, probably twice a turn.
Your battle round, you started 3. Don't be greedy, Brad.
I'm literally trying to use it in the fight phase, the shooting phase, the every phase. I'm getting Exploding Sixes if I'm hitting it. That's happening.
All I'm saying, Brad, is greed's a bad look.
I want more stuff. I'd like to have another unit of Banshees in here, to be perfectly honest, but we can't because we have 6 elites.
And you could swap the Fire Dragons out for Howling Banshees. The question is, what do we get at that point afterwards? And I don't really know. The fast attacks are full. The heavy supports...
But I still want Shining Spears for something else. I'd like the second Shining Spear unit to be something else.
I like Expert Lancers a lot more than I like Heartstrike Paragon Saber.
I just don't want 2 Shining Spears. It's hard to hide, and the redundancy. You can get just so much more with the rest of your stuff at that point in time.
I get that. I mean, I'm totally down to drop like the 3. If I'm dropping one, it's the Heartstrike Paragon Saber guy.
I love that you're like the guy with all the rerolls I want to take out.
Yeah.
Rerolls and mortals, they're bullshit.
Entirely about how many buttons do I roll. And if the answer is 1, like, oh, buddy.
How about this? We keep 3 Shining Spears, we don't say which one, and we get the other one something else.
Let's just put a big question mark in there.
How about we just say it's one of these 2?
Yeah.
Heavy support options. Yes, I was about to go there because that's the only thing we're going to have options for, because elites are full, fast are full. HQ is actually full.
I do like Warwalkers.
Warwalkers with whatever you like is nice, period.
Like Twin Bright Lance Warwalkers when you get that reroll hit.
Yeah, 85 points, get you 2 Bright Lances with a reroll.
And they have an invuln, which is super dope with your fate dice. Because without an invuln, like, you don't get a save, like, dope. You can't use your fate dice. But with a 5-up invuln, your opponent points like 3 Dark Lances at it or whatever is, in the meta these days. And puts 2 wounds, and you're like, all right, 1 goes through, roll your damage, dope. And the second one, auto 6, I live.
Yep, so it's a big deal on that. And right now, my current Bealtan list has 3 single Warwalkers in it. So I do like them quite a bit for it.
I like them over the Fire Dragons. Like, if we drop Fire Dragons for another squad of Banshees, and we drop the one of the 2 Shining Spears units, who's to say, you can, I believe, get 3 Warwalkers or close.
Yeah, 85 points apiece if you do that. Missiles are 10 points less. So, yeah, for sure on that.
Yeah.
And the only thing...
In that vein.
It's funny because I've been playing without Protect Jinx for a while here, even though it was my favorite spell. A Webway Gate. Webway Gate would be nice, but we'd have to go a little bit more... even more hand-to-hand at that point in time. I actually would like the dragons more at that point in time. They're still one-hitters, man. People just don't let you shoot them twice with fire dragons. That's just a lot of points.
Not anymore. Before, when you could fire and fade them 6 inches automatically, you could be like bounce, 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 bounce.
Right.
But now you can try and roll that 4, 5, and 6 to get back behind terrain. 4 probably won't do it. You probably need a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, people just...
200
the 200 points of just shooting once is just not doing it for me. I need multiple mojo. I like to peek out. I still like bikes. I like cannon bikes quite a bit. I still like spiders quite a bit to be able to do shenanigans. Spiders moving 2d6 it gives you a lot more options to do stuff to get the hell out of the way. And of course, they have the auto 6 inches. So
yeah, I do like spiders quite a bit. I think they got worse in Armor of Contempt land because a dude in cover is just taking their basic save.
Yeah,
and that's a little unfortunate because you drop them down to clear an objective and they just don't do that.
True on that. They have utility on that. So, and I still don't mind taking... I mean, you got to figure that 5 cannon bikes are $150. You got an auto 3-inch, so you can just keep peeking out and coming back. That's another option. I definitely like the 3 Warwalkers in here. It also gives you just more units. They forward deploy, so you can just pick the nice piece to hide behind. So I like that quite a bit. I would like just another punch. The game is very, very deadly right now. So I do.
Yeah. So turn the Fire Dragons into Banshees and drop a Shining Spear unit and try and pick up a bunch of Warwalkers. I think is probably where I would go. And then you probably take Crone Scream on the Howling Banshees that don't have piercing strikes, so that both units can kind of bop.
Well, the Crone Scream's the relic on it. You just take the nerve-rending shriek is the Exarch power. So you just basically both units have Exarch powers, and one has 2 damage, the others just has a mortal because you just wanted extra attacks.
Yeah, I think you take Crone Scream on that one because I'm paying for the 5 and Feel No Pain on the Swooping Hawks. Power C6 says in chat that Feel No Pain on Hawks is a bad play insurance. Just don't get shot. I mean, your opponent is playing the game too, and so likely at some point they'll set up a play to try and kill the Swooping Hawks. And without Feel No Pain, they fall over very quickly. If that happens. Now, if your opponent never gets a beat on the Swooping Hawks, then you're probably in a good position anyway. But in a game where you're both trading back and forth and hitting each other, they can play the game too. And so they're going to set up plays to try and hit your Swooping Hawks. And you probably do want the Feel No Pain there. It's half a CP for Feel No Pain on a unit forever, and a 4-up Invul and Sergeant. I'd probably take that. I like that.
The Banshee Falcon combo, I've used it. I used it for a long time, actually. The only problem is that if we don't really have the range or the psychics to do it right now, because we'd have to add another Farseer power. And I don't know what I'd want to cut on that. We definitely need a guy on a bike to go get it. So he'd have to basically zoom out cast it on them and then get quickened back. So we need an extra seer.
For anyone who's joined us recently, this list has 30 Dire Avengers in it as well. I just, you know what? I'm blaming Brad on this one. I don't care how. It's his fault.
I'm blaming Brad on this one.
All right. So that's probably what we would do is just swap out the Fire Dragons for more Combat Punch and then try and include a whole bunch of War Walkers. I like the War Walkers. Here.
All of the things, some of the stuff. Double pew pew, everyone. As usual, throw us in your list in the Discord, in the War Room Discord, under Fix My List, and say Jack is the best, and he will pick your list.
Yeah, if you have Dire Avengers in your list, make sure that's in bold or whatever, because clearly, you know what? I'm also going to blame Ronnie, too. Anyone other than myself. It's not my fault. Everyone else's fault.
I'll take blame, Jack. I'll take blame.
Dope.
So, everyone, and if you're not a War Room member, become a War Room member, and you can throw your list in the Discord. And we do all kinds of cool stuff. We talk about things, and you can put stuff up, and you can basically immediately distract me by anything that I think is funny. So, very easy. Scorpions are super worth taking because the Exarch's a monster. Crushing Blow Exarch is amazing.
Yeah, still, even Bop's Armor of Contempt. I mean, maybe Tulip with Armor of Contempt he doesn't quite do, but like it's a 110 point unit. What are you expecting from it? Secondary wise, from Power C6, you definitely take Warp Ritual. That's what Quicken is there for. You run out, you do Warp Ritual, you quicken them back. Then you take this list. You take
Wrath of Cain.
Wrath of Cain.
You have all the Aspect Warriors. You'll max it.
Probably retrieve Knockman data, I would say, right?
Yeah, because the 3 units of Dire Avengers can shoot and do actions. And then you've got the Guardians and the Rangers. You could probably put a Ranger in reserve just to make sure you get it on that. So I like it. Dire Avenger Blindness. It's a syndrome.
I like this list. I think this list is awesome. Somehow it feels like it has twice as many units as Nick's list did yesterday. And Nick's list was over points by like
100. Yes. So, all right, everyone. Queen's Wave.
Bye.